With personas defined and memory in place, the next question is pure routing logic. Who acts next and who decides? This is the communication topology, the control flow architecture governing how agents pass the baton to one another, and it is arguably the single biggest design decision in a multi-agent system, because it determines how predictable, how flexible, and how debuggable your entire pipeline will be. There are three dominant patterns in production use today. Deterministic workflows, structured as directed acyclic graphs, where the path is fixed in advance by code. Autonomous orchestration using a supervisor pattern, where a manager agent dynamically decides the next step at runtime. And cyclical evaluation loops, where agents can send work backward for revision rather than only forward. Each pattern trades predictability for flexibility differently, and most serious enterprise systems actually combine all three, a mostly deterministic backbone with a supervisor making a few key decisions and a cyclical loop wrapped around the quality check stage. Let's take each one in turn, starting with the most predictable. A directed acyclic graph, or DAG, is the most predictable control flow pattern available. A fixed, code-defined sequence of steps where data flows strictly forward, with no cycles and no runtime decision-making about what happens next. Agent A always runs before Agent B, which always runs before Agent C. The order is baked into your orchestration code, not decided by any model. This is the pattern behind tools like Airflow-style pipelines applied to agents, and frameworks like LangGraph offer explicit DAG construction. The advantage is total predictability. You know what will execute in what order every single time, which makes DAGs easy to test, easy to debug, and cheap to run because there's no extra decision model call spent figuring out routing. The trade-off is rigidity. A DAG cannot adapt if, say, the research agent discovers halfway through that it needs a different kind of follow-up research than the pipeline anticipated. Most standard enterprise reporting pipelines, compliance checklists, and document processing workflows fit this pattern well, since their steps rarely need to. The supervisor pattern flips the DAG's rigidity into flexibility by introducing a manager agent whose entire job is deciding what happens next at runtime based on what has happened so far. Instead of code hardwiring research, then write, then critique, a supervisor agent looks at the current shared state after every step and dynamically chooses which worker agent to wake up next. It might send a task back to research if the writer flags a gap, skip the critic for a low-stakes task, or call in a specialized worker that a fixed DAG would never have anticipated needing. This is what frameworks like AutoGen's Group Chat Manager and LangGraph's Conditional routing implement. The trade-off versus a DAG is real. Every routing decision costs an extra model call, adds latency, and introduces the possibility of the supervisor itself making a poor routing choice, which is why supervisors are usually built on a cheap, fast model rather than your most expensive one. The trade-off is worth it specifically when the cost of a wrong. The third topology layers self-correction on top of either a DAG or a supervisor, cyclical evaluation loops. Instead of every step only moving forward, a QA or critic agent is given the explicit ability to reject a writer agent's output and send it backward for revision, rather than passing a flawed draft further down the pipeline. Mechanically, this is usually implemented as a conditional edge that routes back to the same worker node with the critic-specific objections attached as new input, and a loop counter that tracks how many revision cycles have happened. This pattern is what closes the gap between the critic found a problem and the problem gets fixed. Without it, a critic agent is just a reporting tool, logging issues nobody addresses. This mechanism is what separates a system that merely detects errors from one that actually corrects them before a client ever sees the output. Without this ability, a critic agent is merely a report generator nobody acts on. That gap is exactly what turns a QA layer from. Let's compare all three side by side before moving on. A pure DAG is fastest and cheapest, since there's zero overhead spent deciding what happens next, but it's rigid and cannot handle surprises mid-task. A pure supervisor pattern is maximally flexible, capable of handling unpredictable workflows, but it's slower and more expensive because every single step pays the cost of a routing decision, and it's harder to debug since the path taken can differ from one run to the next. A cyclical loop isn't really a competitor to the other two. It's a modifier you can wrap around either one, at your quality control checkpoints, to let a critic send work backward instead of only forward. In practice, mature enterprise systems blend all three: a deterministic DAG backbone for the predictable, high-volume parts of a workflow, a supervisor node inserted only at the few points where real branching decisions matter, and a bounded cyclical loop wrapped around the writer-critic checkpoint. Now let's look at how agents reach outside themselves to touch real-world systems and data.